else. Clothes don't fall like magic. Haven't had time to myself, except for the carpool traffic. I was on the partner track. All those years I can't get back. Would it kill you to say thanks? A little gratitude goes a long way. You're welcome for all the time I put in. You're welcome for raising our 3 kids. Do you think they turned out so great on their own? Oh no. You're welcome to grab another round. You're welcome to crash on your friend's couch. 'Cause even if you came back, I'd be alone. So you're not welcome home. You don't take time to hold me. You never seem to be around. I've been busy busting my back, holding this fort down. Your only job is to cut the grass on Wednesday, take out the trash. But the grass is long and the trash is tall, so I took care of it all. You're welcome for all the time I put in. You're welcome for raising our 3 kids. Do you think they turned out so great on their own? Oh no. You're welcome to grab another round. You're welcome to crash on your friend's couch. 'Cause even if you came back, I'd be alone. So you're not welcome home. Did you forget we made some vows in sickness and health? So where are you now? You're welcome for all the time I put in. You're welcome for raising our 3 kids. Do you think they turned out so great on their own? Oh no, no. You're welcome to grab another round. You're welcome to crash on your friend's couch. 'Cause even if you came back, I'd be alone. So you're not welcome home. You're not welcome home. You're not welcome home.
What's up, Eager to Pleasers? Welcome back to another episode of the Eager to Please podcast. I can't believe how quickly this year's flying. We've talked about so much in the past 42 episodes and have been on quite a journey together. If there's one thing I hope these episodes have accomplished, it's that they've brought you comfort in knowing that you're not alone and that there's an entire community of individuals just like you who are going through it too. Something we haven't talked about yet, though, is anger and resentment. If the song you just heard, Welcome Home, didn't make it clear, that was the truest expression of those emotions. I wrote that song well before my divorce with Joy Hannah and Claire Assad, but those words describe so perfectly what I was experiencing as a stay-at-home mom who had lost her way, feeling alone, isolated, and without the narrative to describe what I was feeling so I could ask for help. It took years for those feelings of anger and resentment to build up, and I began to wonder, how did we get here in the first place? We wanted to get married and have a family. We both decided together that I was going to be the one to stay at home and take care of the kids and the house and everything else, because after all, childcare for 3 kids is insanely expensive. But I had no idea the toll it would take on me. Over time, we became too comfortable with the roles that we each fell into, and the division of emotional, physical, and mental labor became extremely imbalanced. My ex-husband would get to go off to work, detach himself from the chaos that ensued each day, have conversations with adults that didn't revolve around diaper changes, feeding schedules, nap times, and play dates, and I would be left feeling like I was carrying the weight of the world on my shoulders. There was no way for me to let any balls drop, because that was my responsibility. If one dropped, there's no telling how many others would fall shortly after. The amount of time and effort I was spending on running our lives so that everyone was content left little to no time for me to even go to the bathroom without someone knocking on the door or yelling my name because someone needed something. No one understands, unless you're the one doing it, the amount of planning and mental effort it takes to continually keep up the next thing that needs to be done, constantly thinking ahead, constantly planning. Sure, I would write myself lists, but life was always shifting, and I felt like I was in this game of whack-a-mole. When one thing got crossed off, 3 more things got added. One kid's turning 10 in a few months, so is her wellness visit scheduled? Oh, Christmas is just around the corner, so I should probably figure out where we want to get pictures, plan outfits, and pick up stamps so I can mail the cards. Crap! We're out of bread again. Guess I need to figure out how I'm going to have time to grab another loaf today so I can get lunches packed. And while I'm at it, the kids need their uniforms cleaned for the second game this week, so I need to remember to switch the laundry. The list goes on, and as it continued to go unnoticed, I continued to grow bitter. It's hard to say if his acknowledging anything would have changed our outcome, so we could have course corrected before we got to the point of separation. But as we said in the song, a little gratitude does go a long way. After all, we're all human, and we want to feel seen, appreciated, and respected. So without knowing it, the anger and resentment began to build. If I didn't feel like he was pouring into me, why would he think I would want to pour into him? It was already taking every ounce of energy I had to take care of our kids and home life. What more could he expect from me? Little by little, I could feel myself becoming tense and annoyed when he was around. I would avoid spending time with him and constantly replay things in my head of things he hadn't done that irritated me. I became this miserable, unrecognizable person solely focused on what tasks needed to get done, because those tasks are never taken off your list. With the exception of Christmas cards, I might add. That's something that we can choose to skip, because who cares if they don't go out this year? The only person who's putting pressure on yourself to send them out is you. But at the time, that wasn't negotiable. I had already set the precedent that I did them every other year, so I couldn't stop now. And those other tasks, though they seem menial and insignificant, they amount to a whole hell of a lot when you combine them all and the responsibility falls back on one person. Looking back, now that we're past that phase of life and I've been able to reflect on how things landed, I learned a few things. I learned that I subconsciously witnessed this mental load inequality from the time I was a little girl, not only between my parents and my own household, but for my grandparents too. My mom was the one to plan vacations, schedule doctor's appointments, coach our softball team, take us clothes shopping, and cook 99% of the meals. On occasion, Dad would grill or make meatballs from his Italian mother's coveted recipe, but for the most part, it was my mom running the show. My grandmothers were the same way. I also learned that I didn't really have the full support of my husband or his family either. Let's take the wedding, for example. Trying to get him to help me make a decision was like pulling teeth. Every decision fell to me. And while most women would think that's paradise, I actually wanted him to actively participate in the planning. His response would be, "I don't care, Natalie. I just want you to be happy, so you decide." But I'm asking for your opinion. Do you want a black tux or a brown one? I picked out everything from the flowers to the colors to the DJ and food at the reception. Never mind the fact that we were living on the West Coast and planning for a wedding that was to be held on the opposite side of the country. That added an entirely whole new element of stress. But even before the wedding, I never truly felt like I was supported by my husband's family. We'd taken the long, slow approach to tying the knot because we dated for 2 years, we were engaged for 2 years, and then we finally said I do. It was sometime during our engagement phase, and we were visiting his family for Christmas when his oldest brother had said something to me. He's like, we didn't really get you a gift this year because you're not in auto yet, but you're 90% of the way there. I mean, are you freaking kidding me? Who in the hell says something like that to someone who's going to be marrying your brother? I was livid and hurt, and I quite frankly wanted to punch him in the face all at the same time, but I had to bite my tongue. Not fully sure if my ex ever said anything to him. I doubt it though, because he hates confrontation as much as I do, and because I never got an apology from said brother. I'm not even sure what made me bring it up to my soon-to-be father-in-law at the time either, telling him how hurt I was by it and that I wanted to write his son a letter to say so. But I was strongly discouraged from doing that because I was told that words can't be taken back once they're out there. Well, no shit. Your son just said that to me, and no one told him how crappy that was for him to say to a family member. Same name or not, that's unacceptable. All that to say is that feeling angry and resentful is normal for any of us. It's when we get stuck there that it turns into a dangerous place to live. When we feel anger or resentment, it's our body's way of signaling something needs attention. When we hold on to those emotions, it becomes harder to communicate openly, empathize, or feel close to others. And by holding grudges or replaying past hurts, it keeps our minds trapped in negativity. From firsthand experience, I'm telling you, not only was it exhausting, but it prevented me from enjoying being in the moment. My focus was always on what was wrong, making it difficult to see solutions, having any opportunity to grow or to see the good that might still exist in a situation. It's no wonder my stress levels were through the roof and I couldn't sleep. But most importantly, when anger and resentment take root, it becomes harder to forgive. And let me be clear, that's not to say you excuse what happened, but it allows you to give yourself grace to release the emotional weight it carries. I hope today's episode brings you peace and clarity, and that whatever anger and resentment you've been death gripping, you're able to look it straight in the eyes, then release it, because there's no better feeling than letting go of all that baggage. I hope to see you back here for the next episode. Until then, have a great week.
So eager to